الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Assalamu alaikum everybody. Javed Maiki. Today we are presenting as we have talked to the organization in investment. Just want to let you know for one thing that whenever any investment or anything says investment like insurance or anything like investment, our aim and goal is what? We get most out of it. So mostly, do you think it happens once we talk about we never want to lose money, right? But these four things everybody consider. Like my money has to be. That's why most of the people they put the money into the bank. Why they put in the? Because the money is safe. But is it safe and secured? Sometimes yes, it is secure, but it's not growing. If it's not growing, that means sooner or later you are losing. Inflation can hit your money definitely. Okay. Then market value, your money is always going down. Inflation, devaluation of the money. 10 years ago, dollar to dollar, Canadian dollar was only like few cents. Now you can see that. So it makes a difference. Sooner or later you start losing. So people they take the second choice is mutual fund. Mutual fund, stock market, ETF. What happens to ETF? We lose money. Because one ditch to come back again, it takes 6 to 8 months. And then another one comes. So gradually you are just, definitely you make some money. But do you think that is it enough? Or your money investment is worth? Sometimes is not, because of lot of declinings, lot of things happening. And last year you saw that 2025, this year was lot of roller coaster, right? So we keep losing money. So then protection and tax advantage. You can see protection tax advantage, we don't have a concept when we are investing. We don't know what is the concept of protection of your money. What is the advantage of tax advantage of your money? We don't even know. So to get all these four things, I'm going to show you today how we can protect your money, how we can get the growth, safety, and tax advantage of your money, right? So once we are talking about protection and tax advantage, what happens? We want to know one thing, another concept, that rule of 72. Most of the time, rule of 72, what is rule of 72? Rule of 72 is the concept created by Einstein. Okay, so rule of 72 is what? Created by Einstein. What Einstein says, whatever the rate of return you get divided by 72, whatever the answer comes, it takes that many years your money to be double. This is the rule, everywhere works. So I was thinking, did it works or not? So I opened my calculator. Let me see. Einstein says that if you invest any amount and your investment is return is 2%, Einstein says your money will be double in 36 years. Can you see? Money doubles in 36 years. So Einstein is right, and he's genius. So what we do? Take this concept and take these rules that I don't want to lose. I want my money to be safe. I want my money to be growing. I want my money to be protected. And I want my money to be having a tax advantage. With this concept and rule of 72, do you think that we are going to lose money? We are not going to lose money, right? So what I do differently, I'm going to show you, because 10 years, 20 years back, what our concept was, that you invest the money and forget, right? And people, they were making it money eventually. But now the concept, because of the so much roller coaster, so much ups and down, I think we have to monitor. We have to monitor our money. We have time to time, if we need to change, we should change. Because nowadays, if you can see, if you buy a new iPhone also, a new phone, cell phone, after 4 months, what it says, you have to update your software. We have to update our software no matter what, right? So I'm going to show you how I invest, because it's a small concept which we work with different companies. So this is the fund normally we choose. So what happens, I choose one of the fund. I'm going to show you, because I'm very much excited Mario is here, because he is my mentor. So I'm first time I'm presenting myself. And so one of the fund we choose, and I'm going to show you, then you tell me that is it worth it or not, okay? Yeah, what we do normally, okay, I want to show you that people, they invest into segregated funds, people, they invest into mutual fund, stock market, people, they put money into the banks also. But we do in segregated fund. And what is segregated fund? Is same like mutual fund. People, they have a concept of mutual fund, stock market, ETF. Segregated fund is the same thing, exactly, it works the same. Pooling of investment is same, market based return is same, investment, register, non-register, everything is same, only 5 unique features in seg funds. And what is that 5 unique feature? That guarantee applicable at maturity or death benefit. It's give you guarantee, okay? It's give you all your protection is guaranteed. Potentially creditor protected means you can protect your money with the creditors if it's a preferred beneficiary. And who is the preferred beneficiary? Preferred beneficiary is your spouse, your parents, your children, your grandparents, and your grandchildren. Siblings are not. So if it's a preferred beneficiary, you can get, and even in siblings, there is a way you can protect them also. There is always a way. Plus probate fees. How many people they know probate? Probate is the final expense after the death, and it's huge. There's a lot of tax consequences. No, not penal. After the death, there is a final tax which you pay, is probate. It goes to probate court. If you have 50,000 or more assets, it goes towards the probate court. And probate court decide if you have a will, and if it's a proper will, then it's give you some option, but will is only your wish. Government Canada doesn't honor your will, right? So you have to plan accordingly. So if you can see all these 4 unique features in this one, is kind of a built-in will, right? You get the protection against the creditors, you get the protection of your profit, you get the protection of your capital. What else? but I told you 5 unique features. So there is one more unique feature. And what is that? Automatic annual death benefit reset. And what is that? That is a very good feature which gives you lot of values. And what is the values of this? If, for example, today I deposit $10,000, tomorrow it comes to 11,000 next year, I can reset. My death benefit can always be reset. And now my next guarantee is 11,000. Down the road, if it's a maturity 10 years or 15 years, after 5, 6, 7 years, I passed away, market is down, they will top up. Called top up, they will give you whatever your last guarantee was. So you meet your profit together with your capital. So those 5 unique features, it's bring this investment to the value. There is nothing in mutual fund, there is nothing in ETF, there is nothing in the stock market or in the banks. All the banks, mutual fund and ETF, they are regulated by CDIC, and segregated fund regulated by assurees. Assurees give you some kind of guarantee. If in case the company bankrupt, a company has got something happens, still government of Canada has got regulatory called assurees. They give you 90% of your investment guarantee up to certain amount and then 90%. So that will bring you to the value of your investment. Normally not. Banks are not allowed up to now, up to today. In future, I don't know. Right? So yeah, so that's what the segregated fund offered by insurance companies. And the insurance company which I'm going to show you, this one has got 124 years experience in the market. Next year in April is going to be 125 years old. So as I said, I want to show you one of the fund how we do. So for example, this fund, one of the fund, I am using it, one of the portfolio. Our funds are all portfolios. What we do, so there is a lot of companies in the portfolio. So specifically this company, if you can see, if you can notice, the top-notch companies in this portfolio is USTN, NVIDIA, Taiwan, Semiconductors, Microsoft, Meta Platform, Amazon, Alphabet, Roblox, Apple. Do you think all these companies can go bankrupt at once or go down at once? Never. Yeah, you never know. Together with 1,699 companies attached with this portfolio, one portfolio, 1,600. So the chances are very low. And what we choose means the way there is 4,000 portfolios in this company, but what we choose, that market goes up and down. It's a market-based return, right? But when it goes down, how fast it come back? You see, 22 went down. It come back within like 6 months. It was back to normal. Another funds also between 5 months, 3 months to 8 months, 9 months, your funds return come back to normal. That's what we chose, all our clients' funds. So that way we are getting more. And for example, if you are investing whatever the amount, if I choose 4 investment, 4 portfolios, that means you have more than 2,000 companies attached with this. So that way, and you can see that 2022 everybody was down. This one was also down. Within like 5 months, it was up back to normal. 2023 was 26%, 2020 31. and you can see 8 funds which we chose, 5, 6, 8, 10 funds, and that's what we do. So chances are very minimum to, and plus you have attached some kind of security. You have some guarantees attached with that. So that's what we choose, and that's what we educate people, that whatever you do, whenever you do, you choose the smart way. Not that from me or anybody else. After today, when you go out and if you are searching, if you are going to anybody for your investment, you are going to ask them. You are going to ask them how much safety I'm getting. Do I get growth or not? You have the concept. Segregated fund itself give you a guarantee of maturity and that benefit. Even the company goes bankrupt. Let me show you some. I'm going to pull out one of the thing. This is my notes. I always keep my notes, and I'm going to show you what government give you a guarantee. These are my notes. When I was doing the exam, I kept all the notes. So this time, assurances give you if you have a death benefit. If you have $1 million, 100% is guaranteed. If the company goes bankrupt, over $1 million, 90%, whichever amount is higher. Health expenses, if you are in segregated funds, that's the only way, not in mutual fund. These companies, they do mutual fund also. So health insurance, health expenses up to 250,000 or 90%, whichever the higher. Disability, when you have a company disability, 5,000, or if it's more, 90%, whichever the higher. All your investment, segregated fund, 100,000 or 90%, whichever the higher amount. Premium. If you are, whatever you are paying every month, it's going to be the same. But yeah, if we are talking about MER, like expense ratio, mutual fund and segregated fund, whatever you are choosing is all depend. Some are lesser, some are higher. How you choose is all depend. Let me show you. Whenever you do mutual fund, how you choose. For example, you choose Air Canada, right? Or for example, you choose Amazon. Okay? You choose one company. Of course, it's little lesser, one company. Then you choose Microsoft. Of course, it's going to be lesser. But if you choose 1,600 companies together, now tell me which one is higher or lesser. And plus one more thing, I forgot to tell you that all these, for example, when you are doing it mutual fund, stock market, what happens? Whatever the MER is, they deduct the MER first and then you invest. For example, you put $1,000. Let's say $10 was MER. They remove the $10, they put $990, right? And segregated fund is all deferred. All your investment goes direct 100% to the investment. They take out from your profit when the profit comes. It's deferred. All the MER will be deducted later on. If you make some money, then you pay. So all the insurance companies, whatever, is all deferred. And it's good that everything is, oh, okay, I want to show you something different. For example, the difference of $10, because that $10 you paid in the beginning to the insurance company, right? I mean, sorry, mutual fund. You paid MEI only $10 before your investment, and then they invested. Okay, let's say in SEC fund, as I told you, that $10 makes in the long run $590 difference in portfolio, going to be lesser than if you are making exactly the same segregated fund and mutual fund exactly the same, is still $500 lesser, because that $10 was deducted earlier. So that's what it is. Whenever you do, and whenever you go from today, what you are going to looking for, you are going to ask your advisor, I am looking, because everywhere there is a bank, every corner of the street you get the bank, and when you go to the bank, that's the only thing they offer. Word to mouth, as I am here. Yeah. So, now if you go to any advisor, what you are going to say? You are going to ask them, okay, what is my safety? Where is my growth? Where is my protection or tax advantage? Can you give me built-in will? Can you ask them to the bank? That segregated fund has got built-in will. We have the built-in will. The concept is clear. Whenever you do anywhere, you go to Javed Manji, if you go to Mario, if you go to Zaki, Naki, or anybody else, the best idea is you can ask them if what is going to be a growth, if my growth is safe or not. Do I have a protection for tax advantage? The first thing is probate. If I passed away today and I have $1 million debts and I have $100,000 in SEC fund, which is beneficial to my wife, it will go straight to my. Nobody can touch that amount because it's creditor free. They will go first thing in the probate. If you have over 50,000 assets, together everything, it will go to the probate. Probate court will decide if you don't have a will. I have tons of our community people, they are still hassling probate court. Some they are waiting since 5 years, 5.5 years, stretched to 7 years. Only 4th thing in Canada is free. First house, roll over to your spouse. First house. Your life insurance, if it's a preferred beneficiary. Your segregated fund, if it's a preferred benefit. And lotto ticket, which comes only once in 34 million. We are not lucky on that one. So that's what it is. Yeah. Still, it will go to the probate and exactly. Yeah. If you have any question or online, anybody has got any questions, they can ask me anytime. They can call the organization. When I was talking about built-in will, so many people they are looking for will. I made a template of will because I've been through all these problems. I had a brain aneurysm when I went to the lawyer and I asked them to make a will, and they just made it very simple, ordinary will, which was not working out to me. Then I researched. I worked almost 8 months to build a will. I'm going to give it to that template to organization. They can put on their site, and it's all free of charge. Nobody will, and you can make your own will, just you have to go and attest. So organization, you can ask them. Within like a day or two, I'm going to give it to Zaki, and he will post it, he will give it to the organization. Lady Fatima will have the will. You can get the template and you can just do your own. Yeah, you have to attach only. Rest, everything will be there. Just pray for us, pray for Lady Fatima and the organization, and inshallah everything will be ready. Now I'm going to ask Mario to just come few minutes, give his thing, and please, and if you have any question, please feel free to call me. Please, Mario. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Right. An absolute honor to be able to speak with you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for putting this together, Zaki. Everything Jawed said, guys, I want you to really, really take it in, because nowadays, not understanding money is going to put you at a real disadvantage. Imagine playing Monopoly, but all you ever do is go around the board and collect $200. You never buy any assets. You never learn how the rules work. When you play against players that know how to play, you're going to lose. And so when it comes to things like investments, this is an area I've spent a lot of years working towards. I've been in this industry for 18 years. I'm very blessed to be in the financial field, but that's not where it started. I wasn't born into this. I don't have a great education. I don't have a background. I used to be a chef, and I came into this industry by chance. So I had a catering company that I really put a lot of love and passion into. And unfortunately, I knew nothing about money or business. I was 21 years old. I didn't come from a family that talked about money or talked about investments, or I had no idea what I was doing. I was just working hard. And very quickly, CRA became my business partner because I didn't know how to pay taxes. I didn't know how to manage my money, and everything went down. A friend of mine who worked in finance said, why don't you come work with me for a summer, learn a little bit about money, so you're not so ignorant on the topic. Now that summer's turned into 18 years. I've been full-time. I run an amazing team across Canada and the US, but investments are the area that I specialize in the most. Right now I manage close to $25 million of assets under management, and all of that is from teaching just the fundamentals that Jawed taught today. It's just understanding what is available for you and things that most Canadians don't know. Now, the thing is that I really want to pay attention to that I think a lot of people don't realize. My family was immigrants to this country. They came from Italy. And immigrants to this country get targeted before anyone else with bad financial advice. And this is an area that we have to speak up, we have to support, and we have to make sure our communities understand how money works. Because if you're dealing with somebody who knows how money works and you don't know how money works, that's how you get taken advantage. And so the first thing that we do when we come to this country, or the first thing we do when we get into finance, is we go to the bank. Why? That's what our parents did. That's what our families did. That's what everyone tells us to go and do. The banks make a lot of money. They're the biggest buildings downtown. And all their money is your money. That's the difference. If the less money you make, that means the more money the bank makes. When you work with investment companies, the difference is the more money you make, the more money we make. So we are on your side. That's the difference. If you're not making money, we're not making money. So if you're crying, we're crying with you at least. That's the benefit. And so understanding the protection, because I have a client, now, unfortunately, they're no longer with us. They passed away, but they had all their money in a mutual fund at the bank. A single father. He had no beneficiary. He had what's called an executor, meaning that his son was going to take over his account when he passed away. He had $580,000 in his mutual fund at the bank that he was living off at 81 years old. He passed away, and because of probate, because of all the hidden fees in a mutual fund when you don't have a beneficiary, his son only received $248,000 out of the $500. 40% or more went to fees and probate. Imagine working your whole life to leave money behind for your family, and 8 greedy little hands take from that money before it reaches your family that you worked hard for. Those people didn't contribute to your wealth, but they take away from it. When you put your money into a segregated fund, the biggest difference is your family gets 100% of that money. It bypasses probate. It bypasses any creditors. Even taxes in certain situations, you can bypass everything because it moves like a life insurance policy. You pass away and now moves to your family's name. There's a lot of extra features even Jawed didn't even talk about, like 100% guarantee on a death benefit. So let's say you had $200,000 inside of a segregated fund, and next year it grows to 250, and then 300, and then 350. You can hit what's called a reset on your segregated funds and guarantee that larger amount. So when you pass away, even if the markets are down and that 300 turns to 200, your family is still guaranteed that 300,000. In a mutual fund, though, not to bash them, but if you're at 300 and the markets crash, when you pass away, your family gets that minus any probate fees. So you got to make sure that you're doing what you're doing for the long run, because God forbid, when you're not here anymore, you want to make sure everything you did gives you that peace of mind that your family's okay. And so working in finance, guys, has been an absolute blessing for me, and being part of this incredible team and what Jawed and Zaki are building here is absolutely amazing. And I'll come out and do 100 of these events if it means helping and supporting them and the community and everything that you guys are trying to create. I'm going to pass it to you guys. Is there anything that you guys want me to talk about? Any questions? Anything that you guys have about finance in general that I can answer for you, that I can provide some clarity, so that way we can get you the proper information? Anyone have any questions of anything that Jawed said, myself, or anything you'd like me to discuss? The floor is completely yours if there's anything that's come to mind. Yep. Exactly what we're doing tonight is bring awareness. That's why they need to be educated, because, you know, a brand doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? The banks are all the same. Pick a color. It doesn't matter. They're not working with you. When you go to the bank, do you talk to the same person every time, or you talk to a different person? You know what I mean? When I do appointments with my clients, sometimes it's at 7, 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes they're in BC, so it's 11 o'clock for me. You're never going to have a personal banker do that for you. So you have to make sure that you're putting your time with people that are putting the time into you as well. Working with a bank, the only reason people do it is because that's all they've seen. You know, and that's why we have to promote events like this and push it out to our friends and families in the communities, because the more that people know, the better. When you say there's only 20% of people with seg funds, I look at that as opportunity. That's not a negative, that's a positive. That means there's a lot of work for us to do. You know what I mean? If you go into a village and you're a shoe salesman and nobody's wearing shoes, you have two options. You can call back your company and say, hey, this isn't good, nobody wears shoes here. Or you could call back and say, this is amazing, nobody wears shoes here. You got to look at everything like an opportunity. I'd rather be on the 20% side than the 80% side, because that 80% is going down and that 20% is going up. So you want to be where it's going to be positive in the future. We have a lot of work to do. You know, I have 500 agents across Canada and the US. There's a lot of work that we have to do to get this information out there. And you talk about final expense. The day that, as an advisor, the day that you hand a check to a family that lost a loved one, it changes everything about this business. I remember when I paid my first death claim, the same night I went home and upped my life insurance. Because it was like I believed it in that moment. I always believed it, but it's different when you hand a check to someone. 5 years ago, I had a client, 31 years old, single mom, 5-year-old child, and she takes care of her parents. She had an $800,000 mortgage, or sorry, a $500,000 mortgage, and somebody sold her a policy at TD Bank that covered her for $50,000. That's it. So if she passed away, her son is still going to have a $450,000 mortgage debt that's going to pass on to him. All her final expenses wouldn't be covered, nothing. We switched her insurance for $800,000. This lady was perfectly healthy. 3 years later, incurable cancer. She passed away within 8 months, and I got to give her son and her mother a check for $800,000. If I didn't follow up and teach and educate this client, she would have had $50,000 and the family would have been ruined. So there's a lot more to what we do than just the numbers and, you know, the growth and the protection. These aren't just flashy words. These are things that you have to look at when you're building something for yourself and your family. You guys all work hard. I know. Trust me, I live in Canada too. It's not easy here. It's very expensive to live in Canada. And the only thing that's more expensive than living in Canada, unfortunately, is dying in Canada. We have the most expensive free health care in the world. It's only free if you don't use it. And then all of a sudden, all these hidden fees and everything starts popping up, and $100 a day for parking and $300 a day for a private room, and then funeral expenses and everything like that. You have to make sure that stuff's taken care of. It's no longer a luxury, it's a necessity in our world to understand finance. Great question. I appreciate you asking. Any other questions? Anything else that you guys are curious about or you want me to cover? Please. Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yep. Beautiful. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yep. Oh, that's good. That's really good feedback and advice. Yep. So what I'm going to do for the next one is, this was obviously a little last minute, and I think you guys did a phenomenal job. It's very different, you're right, because I understand the language. So I'm sitting back there, I'm taking notes, I'm loving it, I get it. But you're 100% right. And for the next one, I'm going to work very closely with them, and we're going to create a very simple approach to finance. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, whenever we sit with a client, it's always very simple. So a lot of the time it's very customized to what your needs are. So it's going to be asking you a lot of questions versus us just talking at you. We're going to ask you what you want in your retirement. What are you looking for? You know, if you were to, something were to happen to you tomorrow, how do you want your family to live? What, like, you know, all the right questions, and then it's baby steps. You build the plan according to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that individual approach and make it more friendly for groups and large communities. Absolutely. We actually already have a lot of the content and material to do. We're very big on simplicity and financial. I appreciate that. Because listen, it's not what I say, it's what you understand. That's it. I can come up here and say all the best things in the world. If the only person that understands is Zaki and Jawed, we didn't do too well today. Yes. Yeah. We're going to do it. We're going to keep improving and keep getting better and keep getting better. And we're going to make everything a lot more easy to understand. Trust me, now I'm going to be all in to help with and build these out, because I think this is a great group and we want to expand on that. We want to grow. Like I said, I have a commitment to help these gentlemen be successful in what we do as well. And they want to be successful by helping the community. And so that's where we're going to start. So I appreciate that. It's really, really important feedback. So thank you for that. Any other questions? Anything else on your guys' mind? Anything else you want me to talk about? It's a free space, so don't feel like you can't mention it. Not. Jawed, anything else from me or anything else you would need? No, please. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Sure. Everything is customized. So whenever we sit with a client, it's never the same plan sold twice. You know, if you look at where you live now, whether it's a house or apartment or a condo, the person next to you probably pays similar property tax or rent, or there's a lot of similarities, but you and them are not the same person. You have very different financial goals and needs and things like that. So every plan is custom built from the ground up. So if we're dealing with a business, if we're dealing with a community, our job is to assess the need of that business and that community, find the pain points and the problems, and then build a plan to solve those problems. So there isn't one generic thing. When we sit with a community, we're going to find what's the problem with that community, and then we're going to build solutions around that problem. So that's our goal. Whenever we sit with a business or a community or anything like that, it's asking the right question, make sure that we're doing the right job. It's never just, oh, you're a community, buy this. That's not going to benefit you. When you say community, like, help me understand a little bit more. Because are you talking about like a corporation, a business? Are you talking about a community, like a group of people? Like, help me understand. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So there are a couple examples of that we've worked. So one, they were very big on keeping the community running if a member were to pass away. So we built some final expense products. It's very individual. So if this was a community right here, we wouldn't just sell everybody everything. It would still be an individual conversation, because your specific need might be different than this gentleman, if that makes sense. Different in a company. You do a group plan. But what they did is they would take a portion of their final expense of their insurance and have the beneficiary be the community. So when a member passes away, money goes back into that community to keep it funded and keep it going for generations. So that's one thing that we did that supported an entire community, because it was very, very, very close. They did a lot of great work for inner city children and homeless and things like that. And when a member passes away or somebody part of that, they had the option to choose between 10, 15, or 25% of their death benefit to go back to the community, and then the rest to their family. So there's a lot of little options that we can do to give back and to support, but it's an individual decision when you're dealing with a community. It's still individual insurance. It's not like one person can pay for everybody. It's still a very individual plan, but around a common goal or a common problem. So if you notice the community is struggling with retirement or budgeting or final expense or preparing for certain things, then that's what we talk about with each individual person. We do a presentation and then an individual assessment, if that answers your question. Yeah, so that's some great ways that we've helped some communities in the past. A lot of people really, especially churches, because some people are very religious, giving their tithes and giving back to the church. So this is a way to say, When I pass, here's money for the church. Everybody's different. Can't force anybody to do anything, but the options. Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, we don't do trusts. They no longer allow agents or financial advisors to do trusts. It still has to be done by a lawyer, but we can get a lot of the investment part put together, and then you just get the trust done. Sure, there's tons of options, tons of financial tools and things out there. And like I said, when we complete the assessment finds the problems, and then we build the solution. Work with each individual person's budget and needs. Sure. So one thing is, I never try to convince anybody to do it. That's number one. But you have to look at insurance and investments as very separate problems that we're solving. Insurance is if you die too soon, and investments are if you live too long. So it's very easy to run out of money in retirement. You know what I mean? And if somebody just has insurance, when they turn 65, you can't buy your groceries with insurance. You can't go on a vacation with just insurance, right? There's some plans that provide some money and income with their insurance, but still, it's not as easy to access as money in your bank. So a proper financial plan, if somebody has a budget of $300, $400, $100, is you always want to add a little bit of life insurance and a little bit of investments, because you have to worry about that person retiring long term. You know what I mean? You have to start somewhere. So yeah, we have the rule of 72, but we also have something called a FIN, our financial independence. It's like a thumbprint. So if I were to run the financial independence calculator on you, each of you guys are going to get a different number. That number is the amount of money you need, you retire, to stay retired for the rest of your life. So if that number is $2 million, and you currently have zero investments, we have a lot of work to do. Because that means chances are you're going to run out of money in your retirement. 74% of Canadians retire for 3 years and then are picking up a side job after 3 years. 74%. 26% of Canadians retire with less than $1,000 in their bank account. This is why when you go to Walmart, you see the sweet old lady greeting you. She's not there because she's bored. If I was bored and retired, I'd play with my grandkids. I'd travel. I'd do anything but greet people. I'm done with people at 65. No more people. But they don't have the option. They don't have kids to take care of them. My dad worked his whole life. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. They were not going to be able to retire if us kids didn't step in and help them retire, because they gave us everything. Immigrants to this country, hardest working people on earth, and they worked to give us everything, and they kept nothing for themselves because no one educated them. No one taught them anything, right? So you have to have both. It's not, what do I want, insurance or investments? I don't know. Do you want to live or die? You need it. You need both. It's not an option anymore to have just one, if that helps. You guys good? Any questions? Okay. Thing. So number one, mutual fund and seg funds are just investment. So think of like an empty cup. Okay? So banks don't sell mutual funds because they're low return. Banks produce low returns. Mutual funds have nothing to do with it. I could put you in a mutual fund with one of our investment companies and give you great returns. So if the mutual fund and the seg fund are an empty cup, it's the investments that we put inside it that allow it to grow. Banks don't have as many options to put inside. Segregated funds, when you're with an investment company, they have a lot of different options. Big companies, big brands, so that's why you're going to get a better return. When you invest $100 into a mutual fund or $100 into a segregated fund, 100% of your money goes to your. It's the exact same. The difference is in fees. So there's something called MER, Management Expense Ratio Fee. This is the fee that the brokerage charges to manage your money. Mutual funds don't require a lot of management because there's no protection. So they might be 1.8%, 2% fee off the top. Okay, you never see it. Seg funds might be 2.5, 2.6, but that 0.6 you're getting protection, you're getting security, you're getting better fund managers, you're getting people managing the money. It's worth the extra little percentage, and you never see it. It's off the top. So if I give you 20% return, we keep 2.5. You never see it. You get your 17.5% return. Does that make sense? Like, we don't take anything from your money. And so when you invest $1,000, 100% of your money goes to you. That's how it works, if that makes sense. Hold on. One here, and then we'll go back. No, you're 100% right. So the way insurance will work, and this is any company across the board, because we don't control the companies don't control the insurance payout. The actuaries do, the people that actually assess the. So how it works is, when somebody passes away, insurance company requires some documents. It's our job to collect those documents as soon as possible. That means sometimes having a tough conversation with somebody, knowing they just lost a family member, and we have to collect the death certificate. We have to collect a few pieces of information that the company will require, and we submit it right away, and we follow up every day. It could take days, weeks, even months. It depends on the situation. Every death claim that I've paid out has been less than maybe 2 months. But there's some cases it might be longer. If the person passed away from a serious illness, they have to check everything. It's not an easy process. It's not always an immediate overnight process, but it's money that's coming versus money that's never coming. Yeah. So let's say you had a death benefit for 300,000. Would you rather 300,000 2 months from now? Yeah, that's what I mean. So death benefit is the amount of insurance that you get when you pass away. So if you had an insurance policy for 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, is that what you're talking about? Like how quickly you get that money? Oh, just final expense then that's immediate. My apologies. I thought you were just talking about traditional life insurance. Oh, then yeah, that's pretty much immediate because it's being prepaid prior to you even passing away. Yeah, that's very quick. Yeah, my apologies. I understood. Yeah. It's days. Just they're gonna try to get you on upgrades like the funeral home. Say no, and that's it. You'll have enough. Yeah. But that's immediate. So I apologize. I misunderstood the question. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yeah. Go ahead, buddy. Yeah, so the funds are built the same way in a mutual fund and a seg fund. They're portfolios. The difference is with the bank is they're going to kind of, instead of picking the portfolio and the individual funds, they're going to put you into something that's either going to be an income fund, a balance fund, or a growth fund. It's three options. And the thing is, when it comes to income, balance, and growth, those are just names. You don't get any income, you don't get any balance, and there's no growth. It's just names that they use. So they fill out an assessment, it shows growth, and they just throw you in the growth fund. Set it and forget it. And then the only time they follow up with you is if you need to put more money in. That's it. Because they get paid salary. So there's no incentive for them to follow up with you. When we do investments, we get paid by the company, not by you, every year, what's called a trailer fee. Okay, based on the growth of your money. So we're an incentive to keep following up and supporting and helping our clients. It's the company's way of paying us to do that. If you don't like my service, you can walk away, and then I lose my trailer. So I have to always make sure I'm following up and working with my client. The banks don't care. I still get my salary. It doesn't matter. That's the difference. Good. Any other questions? Anything else? All right, guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you for having me. Thank you.